Hey guys, this is Matt with Chaos Art Tutorials. I am back in action. So in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you about the Yeti Blue Snowball. This is an absolutely wonderful microphone. I love it. You're actually not hearing it right now. Some of you audio guys out there with some crazy sound cards will understand. This is actually my Logitech mic that I've done a previous tutorial on that you'll have a link to at the end of the video if you're curious about that. It's a pretty nice. I mean, you can hear the quality of it. It's $20. Absolutely amazing. It plugs in USB. I couldn't ask for anything better for $20. On the other hand, the Blue Snowball. It's about $150. It is out of this world phenomenal quality. It has MIDI controls on it, as the back has gain control. You can turn up your gain, so it's a lot more sensitive. I mean, just to ridiculous amounts. Then you can also control where the audio comes in from. Then you have of course, volume on the front, and you can mute yourself. It's essential for video recording, in my opinion, now that I've used it. So what you're going to be learning in this, though, is how to set it up. So right now, you have your Blue Yeti Snowball right beside you. You have it plugged in via micro USB to USB to your computer. You have your headphones most likely plugged into it so you can actually hear yourself. And you have it powered on. Wonderful. So next thing you want to do is be on your desktop or anywhere that you can see your menu bar, which is every screen in Windows. But what you're going to do is right click on your speakers and you're going to go to Playback Devices, not Volume Mixer, not Volume Control, Playback Devices. Okay. And once you do that, you should come to a screen very similar to this. It says Sound up top and it has all these different options. If you do not have the Yeti stereo microphone as an option on here, unplug it from either your computer and change USB ports, or leave it in the same USB port, unplug the micro USB part from your Yeti microphone, and plug it back in, and it'll most likely recognize it. Otherwise, you may need to change USB ports or restart your computer. So as you can see, I have my Playback Devices set default to the Yeti stereo microphone. What this is if I were to play music or if I were to watch a YouTube video or a video game, it would recognize, okay, this is the default microphone, this is what I'm going to play it through. Generally, based on what type of monitor or speakers you were normally using, they would be selected. So if I were to choose Sony TV and tell our display ready, I can set to default. And what that'll do is play audio through my TV. And here's an example. You might be able to pick this up on the mic. Okay, and then if I were to click this one, you can't hear that, but it's actually coming through my headphones right now. So we're going to go back to the Yeti stereo microphone, select default, and we can go to the properties and look at it a little bit. No need to change the icon or the name. Then you can change your bass and treble. And we have custom loudness. I've never messed with any of these settings, and I highly don't recommend it because they're at such a good level at the moment, and they're very well balanced where you shouldn't need to mess with them. Especially for first timers when it comes to audio. You just leave it as it is. Then you have enhancement if you need to, of course, increase some bass for some, sick bass drops. Virtual surround, room correction, and loudness equalization. No need for any of them. The Yeti is just so good that you don't need to even change anything. That's how much I enjoy this mic. Advanced. Mine, I usually keep it on 16-bit, 44 and 100 hertz CD quality. I guess you could take it up to 24-bit for studio quality if you really wanted to. I don't really care for it. I don't really have any headphones at the moment other than the Turtle Beach's X12s that would even do anything to make it sound better. And I actually don't even use those with my Yeti at the moment. So 16-bit sounds perfectly fine to me. I don't hear any sort of artifacts in there or anything else, but once again, I'm not an audio guy. So let's press OK there. So now that this is set as your default device, you can go to recording, and you can see that I'm actually recording on two mics right now. The USB audio device is the Logitech mic that I spoke about earlier that you're hearing now. And then the Yeti stereo microphone, which I have plugged in now, and I'm about to switch over to, you'll be able to hear the difference, is this other option. So now you're hearing me through the Yeti stereo microphone. I have my gain up just a little bit so you can hear me a little bit better. You may be able to hear my computer running in the background. I have it running a little bit hard right now. I turned my fans up a little bit high, just so you can kind of understand how the gain works. If I were to turn it up all the way, I could be silent and you'd be able to hear it like you were sitting right here beside me. So, once again, just like playback, the microphone, Yeti stereo microphone default device. I have it set on default device, just because obviously I just switched to it and you notice that with for recording. This is a very important step in my opinion. Whenever I'm playing a game or I'm making a tutorial like now, I like to hear myself. So what I do is you click on it, make sure that it's set as your default device, little green check mark, go to properties, listen, and then listen to this device. This will allow you to hear yourself afterwards. There will be a slight delay unless you have some sort of enhancement card to speed it up, which I don't. And so I had a slight delay, but I am hearing myself and it helps me correct what I am saying. So I'm going to take that off for now, just for the sake of the tutorial. Press OK. And then once again, here's the quality difference for the Logitech mic. And you can hear that it sounds like I'm a little bit farther away, and it's not as good quality, and back to the Yeti. For the rest of this tutorial, I'm going to be using the Yeti just so you can understand how good it sounds. So you can go to sounds, and I never really mess with these. These are just different options that you have. It's all within your sounds, default on Windows. Things that I never really, take time to look at. But if you're curious, that's something else you can edit as well. Communications, absolutely no need almost ever to use this. The only thing that it does is whenever you are speaking, let's say through Skype or world chat in a video game, or you're making a tutorial for a video, you may notice how the game audio is turned down when they're speaking, and when they're speaking it's enhanced. So you can choose to mute all other sounds, every sound other than me talking, which I do not prefer to do. You could reduce the volume of other sounds by 80%, which is nice, especially if you're playing a video game and you want to be able to hear yourself and other people when they talk. You want that turned down a little bit, especially in something like Battlefield 4, when there's lots of explosions and buildings falling and things like that. You can reduce the volume by 50%, which is very nice as well. It can get a little bit confusing, like I said, with a game kind of like Battlefield 4, maybe even Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, where there's so many loud noises going on at one time that you couldn't even hear yourself or other people even with it at 50%. And then you could have it do nothing, which is absolutely nothing. It does nothing at all. So I like to keep mine around 80%. It's very nice, and if you feel like changing it, that's how you do it. I never change it. And just press OK, and you are finalized. So only other issues that I found with the Yeti are that sometimes you may have your audio turn down all the way here and not realize it, and you can't hear anything and you don't know why. That's one problem. It's not necessarily with the Yeti, just troubleshooting. The other one is, even though I've been using the same USB port with this microphone ever since I've had it, I've always had to, well not always, but very often had to unplug the micro USB end and plug it back in for my computer to recognize it, and then it instantly goes back to my settings and everything is normal. Minor inconvenience, it may just be a software issue. And then almost every mic that I've ever used works with these this microphone as well. It just plugs straight into the bottom, and I also have the shock mount, the radial shock mount, and it's just phenomenal. It's just so many accessories you can get with this, and they're all worth it. A pop shield, so you can hear my P's and S's a little bit. They're hissing and popping. Is because I don't have one yet, but I highly recommend the one that actually is sold by Blue. I'm actually purchasing them myself in very near future because it goes around the microphone. So if anyone else is around you talking, or if you're moving around the microphone to the side or something like that, it still gives you coverage to the P's and S's that everyone hates to hear. That sound. We don't want to sound like creepers, guys. So that is how you install, well, really set up your Blue Snowball microphone from Blue Microphones, and it is absolutely amazing. This is a Yeti series, and I recommend it to everyone. Go and check it out for yourself, guys. It is worth $150.